Yes, guys, welcome back. This would be the second revision video of strategic cost management and performance evaluation paper. I would be covering modern business environment today. Do not forget, 100% revision of chapter 1, introduction to strategic cost management, is already uploaded. Go through that video first and then view this video. The notes that I will be using for this class are also available for download. The description for that is given. All of those notes would be available in our Telegram group. Also remember, guys, there is also a video uploaded on the important topics of each the important concepts of each topic, guys, titled as 1.5 day revision. You can use that for your preparation planning, as well as to plan your preparation one day before the examination. And other parts, guys, there's also a video on what to expect from your strategic cost management and performance evaluation paper. So you can to ensure that you do not miss out on any video, guys, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you're notified whenever a new video is uploaded. Now, guys, let us start the revision of chapter 2, modern business environment. Now, this chapter, guys, basically has 4 broad aspects covered. We have quality management, we have theory of constraints or throughput accounting, we have supply chain management, and the last part, guys, we have outsourcing and your gain sharing arrangements. Outsourcing, guys, and gain sharing arrangements. Now, to understand this chapter, guys, let us first understand the meaning of the word modern business environment. Traditional business environments, guys, were all about the seller's market. Modern business environment, beta, is the buyer's market. We have seen a drastic change, guys, a drastic change from the seller's market to the buyer's market. Earlier, the seller used to determine the quality that he will be providing to the consumer. The seller used to determine the price at which he will provide the product to the customer. It was based on the cost of the product. Cost plus margin would have become the selling price of the product. So every term was dictated by the producer, by the manufacturer, by the seller. Now every term is being dictated by the consumer, only because it is a competitive environment, only because there are a lot of buyers competing to be competing to provide that service to the end consumer. So now selling price is determined by market conditions. You will have to determine, you know, that you will have to sell your product at that price unless you have some competitive advantage over your other players in the market, and that is why consumers are willing to pay a premium. But anyways, you will have to first determine the price that the consumers are willing to pay for your product, determine what is the amount of profit that you need from your business, and then determine what is the cost at which you should be manufacturing your product. The consumers will determine what are the values that they need from a customer, what are their requirements. You will have to manufacture a product as per the requirements of the consumer. This is how your modern business environment, guys, functions, how things have drastically changed. This is what we've also discussed in introduction to strategic cost management, as how traditional cost management is totally different than what we actually do under strategic cost management now. Anyways, guys, coming to the very first aspect, guys, is quality management. Under quality management, we have cost of quality, we have total quality management, and then we have business excellence model. Do not forget, guys, I have used blue color to highlight the main headings and green colors as such, guys, to highlight the subheadings under that. So starting with the very first concept better here is cost of quality. Cost of quality, guys, you should understand the definition of the word quality, guys. What is quality? Quality is you be able to meet the specifications, you be able to satisfy the requirements or the expectations of the customers, and you are providing value for money. You are providing a good quality product for a reasonable price to the end consumer. You are able to meet the expectations of the consumers. That is quality. You are able to meet the specifications of the product. There are different dimensions of quality, guys, as to how quality can be measured. Few people talk about the durability of the product, how long the life of the product, for how many years will the product be useful. Few people talk about the reliability of the product. Over the useful life, will the product be reliable or not? Will the product perform properly or not? Few people talk about the primary product characteristics. What is that you are buying the product for? You buy a car to have proper driving experience. You buy a cell phone to have a better quality calling experience. You buy a television to have a better viewing experience. So that is primary product characteristics. Few people talk about the secondary product characteristics. What are the additional features that you're getting apart from the basic requirement? Just say these days, guys, when you buy a television, it is all about smart TV, the applications that are installed in it. When you buy a car, it is about the music system, it is about the internet, the voice enabled instructions in a car. When you buy a cell phone, camera quality as such, guys, and other things, all of those are secondary product characteristics. Then, guys, there's another dimension of quality, which is aesthetics, the look of a product, the finish of a product. So there is primary product characteristics, there is secondary product characteristics, there is aesthetics, there is durability, there is reliability of the product, there is customer service, how is the organization rendering service to the end consumers. All of these better dimensions define quality. Now, not necessary, I repeat, not necessary, guys, that an organization should be targeting every dimension of quality. When it comes to very expensive products, you will have to take care of all the dimensions of quality. When it comes to cheaper products, you may compromise on one or the other aspect of quality depending on the requirements of the consumer. Do not forget, you will have to deliver a product that is required by the customer. Now, when someone is buying a toy as such, guys, he might expect that the useful life of the toy should be around 1 to 2 years. They are not expecting the useful life of the toy to be 10 years. So why will you make a product as such, guys, that has a durability of 10 years when people are not expecting it? You can compromise on the durability part there and bring it down to 1-2 years. Are you getting the point better? So you will have to manufacture a product as per the customer's requirements. That is quality as such, guys. Now, coming down to the concept of cost of quality, different people have different opinions about cost of quality, guys. Few people think that higher quality would result in a higher cost, resulting in a decrease in the profitability of the company. Deming thinks that the resultant saving that you will get because of cost of quality would be far more than the cost that you are incurring. And then better, few people think that quality costs are incurred only because you are not manufacturing the right quality product first time. Right quality product is not being manufactured first time. That is why you have to incur cost of quality. Irrespective of the different opinions, guys, we divide cost of qualities into two broad categories: cost of poor quality, cost of good quality. Cost of good quality here, guys, is also known as cost of conformance, the cost of you conforming with the quality requirements. Cost of poor quality is also known as cost of non-conformance, the cost of you not conforming with the quality specifications. Again, under each of these heads, guys, cost of good quality is segregated into prevention cost and appraisal cost. Cost of poor quality is segregated into internal failure and external failure cost. Now, understand them in a detailed manner, guys. If you incur a heavy cost on good quality, for sure you will not have to incur poor quality cost. If you're not incurring good quality cost, your poor quality cost would be very high. It's like if a company is incurring huge amount on preventing the defects. Okay, so prevention cost beta is the cost that an organization is incurring in order to ensure that the defects do not occur. You are preventing the defects from occurring. Appraisal cost is merely checking whether the product manufactured, processes undertaken, raw materials required, procured are meeting quality specifications or not. That is appraisal. Appraisal is mere checking whether it is complying with the requirements or not. Prevention cost beta is preventing the defects from occurring. When you undertake any audit process as such, guys, that is merely appraisal cost. When you are undertaking design verification कर रहे हो बेटा, that is again मतलब you're checking whether the product manufactured is meeting the requirements or not, inspection and all of that will come under appraisal cost only. Prevention cost as such beta is analyzing the vendor as such beta as to which vendor would supply better quality product. That is prevention cost, not merely checking the raw material. Establishing quality circles beta is again a prevention cost. So ठीक है, prevention beta is preventing the defects from occurring. Appraisal cost beta is merely checking whether the product that we have manufactured is meeting the quality requirements or not. Internal failure, guys, is after appraisal. Did you identify any mistakes? Did you identify any defects? Did you identify any errors? If yes, are you rectifying that within the premises? It is internal failure cost. Rework, scrap, wastages, all of these are the internal failure cost. Damages to machines, internal failure cost. External failure arises when the product is dispatched to the consumer. Once the product is dispatched to the consumer and the defect is identified at the consumer's place, I would be terming that as external failure cost. External failure is something that will dent the image of the organization. It might prove costly to the image of the organization. It might result in lower sales. So your warranty claims, customer returns would be part of your external failure cost. So this is your segregation of cost of quality, guys. Always remember, we express cost of quality as a percentage of total cost so that you can compare it from one product to the other product, or you can compare of one organization with the other organization. Like how economies compare what is the percentage of your GDP, what is the percentage of your annual budget as such beta that is spent on, say, public health, what is the percentage spent on defense, what is the percentage spent on education. Comparability beta, you cannot compare absolute amounts because different economies have different sizes, but percentage में लिखने का advantage यही है कि you will be able to compare चाहिए guys. That is the only reason why I would prefer writing in percentage terms. Now what is optimal COQ? Having understood what are the components of COQ, that you divide your cost of quality into two broad categories and 4 costs. What is optimal COQ? Optimal COQ means that point where the total cost of quality is least. You should understand that a company cannot strive for zero defect policy. If a company is striving for a zero defect policy as such guys, if a company is striving for a zero defect policy as such, beta, their cost might be too high. Their cost might be too high. See guys, when the defects are high guys, your cost of conformance, when the defects are very high as such guys, your cost of conformance as such beta that you are incurring would be less. You are incurring less on good quality, that is why your poor quality cost is high. When the defects are very low beta, you are incurring very high on cost of conformance and very low beta on cost of non-conformance. You will not want the total cost to be high, you will want the total cost to be minimum. So optimal COQ is that point where the total cost of good quality plus cost of poor quality is minimum. Understanding that zero defect policy might not be in the best interest of the organization. Pretty important for comment part. A zero defect policy might not be in the economic interest of the company guys. Instead, determine what is the defect level that an organization is comfortable about. Even Six Sigma beta tells us that 3.4 defects per a million parts manufactured are okay. So yes, every organization beta will have a certain acceptable level of defects. That is your optimal COQ. Now also you should understand guys that not every cost of quality is visible. ये क्या बोल रहे हो sir? See guys, the cost of quality that are visible might only be the tip of the iceberg as such guys. You think that scrap, rework, wastages, customer returns are your cost of quality. But what about the employee cost, overtime cost? What about those employees who are handling customer complaints? What about the errors in processing those bills? What about redocumentation? Isn't that cost of quality? What about your reduction in external sales? Isn't that also a cost of quality? So you should not just look at visible cost, you should also look at the huge amount of invisible cost, that is also cost of quality. So yes, you should know that not every cost of quality is visible. There is something called as PAF model, prevention, appraisal, failure. There is something called as PAF model beta, prevention, appraisal, failure. Now what is this model guys? This is about targeting the defects. It says first gather all the information in relation to defects, in relation to the problems. Gather all the data. Then beta it says quantify that data, express them in numericals, express them in monetary terms, express them in monetary terms. First is gathering data, then expressing them in monetary terms, and then guys after that comes segregating them as per the 4 categories: appraisal, prevention, internal failure and external failure guys. Once you are done with that as such guys, then you will see allocate the resources and say how can you tackle all of these issues. Allocate resources and how will you be able to tackle all of these issues guys. That is POF model. Now you'll be like, we know all of this guys, you know all of this, but then if you document it in this manner guys and implement all of this, then you have a pathway, you know how the problem should be targeted. So guys, this is about cost of quality. इसके बाद में we will start total quality management. Just a quick recap of cost of quality. Under cost of quality guys, I told you that first you should know the definition of quality, then you should know cost of quality components, 4 components: prevention, appraisal, internal failure, external failure. You should know that COQ is expressed as a percentage of total cost. You should know what is PAF model, prevention, appraisal, failure model. You should also know that not every cost is visible guys, and then companies will not strive for zero defect policy. They will have an acceptable level of defects, that is optimal COQ, the point at which the total cost is minimum. Having understood cost of quality guys, let us move to total quality management. Total quality management, do not forget beta, this is a quick revision video. This is a quick revision video as such guys. This is not a replacement for an entire class as such guys. So that is why beta refer, that is why guys क्या बोलते हैं बेटा, हाँ, do your preparation properly as such guys. You can view this video guys either before you start your preparation guys, so that you know what is covered in a topic. If you have attended classes long back and you forgot what was covered in a particular topic, then beta you can view the video, or you can also view the video after your preparation guys to just quickly revise all the concepts. It doesn't matter which notes are you referring to guys. You can open your institute's material, you can refer my notes, anything guys, anything is absolutely fine. ठीक है, but then if you are already my student guys, please open the notes so that you have all the detailed examples also, whatever we discussed as such guys, वो साथ साथ में पढ़ते रहो, जल्दी हो जाएगा. Now guys, talking about total quality management. Simple है बेटा, this term comprises of three parts. Total quality management. Total quality management. It is very simple to understand TQM by simply dividing the terms. Sandhi Vichhed chain guys. Divide the terms and then understand the meaning of each term, and that becomes total quality management. Quality guys have already defined meeting specifications, ability to satisfy customers' requirement, value for money, different dimensions of quality. Management is the ability to manage. Total quality beta should involve every part of the organization, every employee of the organization. Quality is not something that should be refrained or that should be constrained to few departments or few employees of the organization. That is total quality management. Involve everyone, every department of the organization in management of quality. You should understand better, that is total quality management. Now total quality management as such guys obviously focuses on meeting customer needs and the objectives of the organization. The objective is here to meet the customer needs guys, and objective of the organization. So there are certain principles on which TQM is based guys. TQM is a continuous improvement program. It is not a one time event beta that you undertake and forget. ये थोड़े principles है बेटा TQM के. TQM is not a one time event guys. TQM is something that you will have to undertake guys for a really long period. It is a continuous improvement program. ठीक है, and then get a TQM guys recognizes the role of every employee of the organization. Everyone's role is important. I cannot neglect the floor manager guys, or I cannot neglect the worker on the production floor who actually knows how things are being conducted. He might give me certain suggestions in improving the way things are being managed and reducing the waste of the organization. So it recognizes everyone's role in the company as such guys. It promotes teamwork, and then beta it is all about meeting customers' needs at a reasonable cost and a superior quality. You should be able to meet the needs of a customer at a reasonable cost and provide them very good quality. There are 6 C's of TQM guys, which covers the entire concept of TQM. 6 C's of TQM. I say beta, there are 6 C's of TQM which covers the entire concept. The first one beta is commitment from top management. The leadership sitting at top beta should be committed to implement TQM. If they are not serious in their attitude about implementing TQM will never get implemented. So there should be like a very clearly visible commitment from the top management that yes, we are serious about it. We have to implement TQM in our business organization. You should bring in that culture of TQM as such guys, to bring in that culture of TQM to change the attitude of employees, because you've always seen whenever a new thing is implemented, employees revolt against it. For that, training is the main point. Train the employees, tell them that this is not something that is totally different. So train the employees to incorporate the culture. And then guys, as I told you that this is not a one time event, this is something better that involves continuous improvement. You will never be able to say better that you've achieved 100% success, that you have 100% improved. There will always be scope for improvement. Cooperation as such guys, it should involve every employee. As I said earlier, there should be cooperation of every employee in the organization guys. It focuses on both internal as well as external customers. Undoubtedly a higher importance is given on meeting the requirements of the external customers, but then yes, quality should be implemented in all the aspects of the organization. Control better, you should be able to exercise control over the entire implementation process, for which documentation plays a very crucial role. These are the 6 C's guys: commitment from the top management, culture, and then guys cooperation of all employees, continuous improvement guys, control, and then customer focus. 6 C's of TQM. There is also a man guys that has contributed a lot to the entire concept of TQM, to the entire concept of quality. His name is Deming. Now Deming has contributed a lot as such guys. There are 14 points that Deming stresses on, but nevertheless guys, let me just say a couple of points better. Deming says that this is a continuous process. Employees should be trained on the job. Instead of training them in conferences room, training them on the job will ensure that they're able to manage better. You should drive out fear among employees, remove barriers. You should promote innovation. You should promote basically guys, employees should be able to freely communicate in the organization. The management guys should be committed to it. You should replace short-term objectives with long-term planning guys. You should have a single supplier for a particular component so that there are not much deviations as such guys. Company should do away with inspection. because if you manufacture very good quality products as such guys, then you will not need inspection as such guys. And then better the leadership as such guys should you should institute leadership so that the team leaders know better the importance of making the entire team work towards a common goal. So theek hai beta, there are certain points that Deming concentrates on. Are we supposed to remember as it is all of them beta? Your wish. I would say beta at least the overview, because it still talks about TQM only guys. Then guys, for implementation beta, we have PDCA guys, plan, do, check, act, cycle. Plan, do, check, act, cycle as such guys. When you say plan as such beta, this plan is all about data. Now you will be like, we know sir, plan, do, check, act kya hai, we implement it everywhere. Still guys, plan का मतलब होता है बेटा identify identify the objectives and then see what are the frameworks required for it. Do beta is implementation, whatever are the approaches that you've identified, implement them guys. Check is see whether whatever you've implemented is effective or not guys. Act beta finally is corrective action that you will have to take. Identify, implement, see if it is effective or not, and then take corrective action. That is PDCA cycle. Why does TQM implementation fail guys? Because people give a lot of importance to documentation. As such guys, and somehow beta what is being implemented fails to actually recognize the importance of customers' requirement. On paper you are telling us that customers' needs are most important, but whatever is being implemented does not actually point in that direction. Whatever is being implemented in the organization beta is not actually pointing in that direction as such guys. So that is why guys TQM implementation normally fails. Also remember beta, TQM implementation fails because people give a lot of importance to quality assurance rather than improvement. In reality, they're not improving quality. They are merely beta sticking to the existing quality. So quick recap beta. And also guys, implementation of TQM. You should not implement TQM guys till every part of the organization is ready for it. Collect data of the entire organization and check if every part of the organization is ready for TQM implementation or not. Otherwise, it would be a big failure. So far guys, under quality management we spoke about cost of quality, that is components of cost of quality, optimal cost of quality guys, and then beta we have moved on to total quality management. Under that beta we have learned about the 6 C's of TQM as such guys, and why TQM fails, and you should delay TQM implementation as such beta till the entire organization is ready. I hope you're all clear about this guys. I've spoken about TQM implementation as well as the implementation of TQM. The next part beta that we have is business excellence model. Let me just drink water guys. So yes guys, the next concept that I'm going to discuss is business excellence model. Now what is business excellence guys? Now business excellence is nothing but the outstanding practices that an organization has implemented guys for managing the entire business as well as achieving results, which is based on certain fundamental concepts. You always see it's about, when you look at this company, you say what an amazing practice that this company has. They've been doing really well, they perform so well, they manage their business so well, they have their core fundamental values. Those are business excellence guys. That is business excellence. Now business excellence model is nothing but guys, converting these practices into a model that can be implemented in many organizations. Now many nations have come forward guys, and they have developed these models so that they develop their own businesses, the businesses of their nations as such guys. We have the US model, Bardrige model guys. Abhi मैं जो cover करने वाला हूँ, that is EFQM model guys, the European Foundation for Quality Management. But this business excellence models guys, once implemented in an organization, they will at least tell you where should you be focusing your thoughts, where should you be focusing your actions to achieve those results. एक pathway मिलेगा बेटा. That is what is the importance of business excellence models guys. So remember, business excellence is the outstanding practices. Business excellence models beta is studying different organizations and knowing what are the best practices possible guys and implementing them in your organization. Now EFQM guys, your European Foundation for Quality Management. There are 3 parts under European Foundation and Quality Management. The 8 fundamental concepts on which this business excellence model is based on. Then the criteria guys, which is 5 enablers and 4 results. 5 enablers, and what is that the organization is doing guys in order to achieve the desired results. This is what is that they have to do guys in order to achieve the results. And then beta there is evaluation tool guys, which is the radar technique. These 3 aspects beta would come under your EFQM model. model. Now, talking about the 8 fundamental concepts of the European Foundation for Quality Management, the very first one, beta, is adding value to customers. When you say adding value to customers, beta, it is about understanding what is the requirement of the customer, what is that the customer needs, estimating the customer requirements, and trying to surpass their expectations. If you are able to surpass the expectation of a consumer, guys, you will be able to retain the customer, you will be able to attract new customers, you will excel. That is the very first fundamental core concept here, adding value for customers. Second one is to create a sustainable future. Creating sustainable future is not merely worrying about your profitability. It also means you will have to think about the society at large and the environment. It's more like the triple bottom line. So it is society, it is environment, as well as your economic aspect. Developing organizational capability, it is about understanding at what areas can the organizational excel, how do you improve the abilities, the skills of the organization. Capabilities of a firm. I have spoken about capabilities as such, guys, and resources and capabilities, if you remember, guys, as a part of core competency analysis. So here, beta, it is about developing the organizational capability as such, guys, developing the skills of an organization here. Harnessing creativity and innovation. Promote the employees. Let the employees feel better that there's a culture wherein they can work with their free mindsets, they can innovate things, they can implement their creativity and get out new ways of performing the work. Leading with vision, vision, guys, inspiration and integrity. It is very, very important, beta, that you have the right leader. All of us, beta, who are fans of cricket will know the importance of MS Dhoni leading the Indian cricket team. That is what we talk about, a good leader, right? Don't you think a business organization also needs a very good leadership? Managing with agility as such, guys, you should be able to quickly be able to react to the changing business environment. If an organization is not able to react to the changing business environment as such, guys, you will fail. That is what is the fundamental concept here. We know a lot of industries, beta, that fail to change with times. Because they failed to change, they are failures, guys. Now succeeding through the talent of people, guys, you should be able to motivate the employees, reward the employees, so that those the skills of the employees, guys, are actually implemented in the organization. If I do not reward my employees well, if I do not take care of my employees well, do you really think, guys, they will put in their best? No, they will not put in their best. Sustaining outstanding results, guys. Whatever you are doing, better, you should be able to sustain it for a very long period. This is not a one-time event. So these are the 8 core concepts, guys, of the E of QM model. इसके बाद में आता है बेटा the criteria. What is that the organization needs as such, guys, properly, or what is that they are doing in order to achieve results. So we classify them into 5 enablers and 4 results. I repeat, there are 5 enablers and 4 results. The first one is leadership. I shouldn't talk about this. I just spoke about this, but under the 8 fundamental concepts, I said the leadership should be strong. They should be clearly, be able to lead the entire team, guys. They should have a proper cultural values. Second one, beta, is the people working in the organization. All the employees, guys, should be motivated. All the employees, guys, should be well talented, guys. You should train them properly so that they are able to put in the right amount of effort. Strategy, guys, the company should have the right strategy implemented. If a company does not have the right strategy, guys, obviously it is bound to fail. Taking your long-term objectives into consideration, have proper strategies defined. Partnerships and resources. These are the relationship with your service providers. These are the relationship with your suppliers. Ensure that you utilize this partnerships properly, guys, for the success of an organization. The resources that an organization has, guys, those resources, beta, can be tangible resources or intangible resources. Finally, guys, processes, products and services are the ultimate products that an entity is all about. This is what is defines the organization. Apple company makes cell phone. That is the product. Ensure that your product, beta, is of top-notch quality. That is something that is able to meet the requirements of the customers. This will help us in achieving the results, guys, in terms of the people, that is the people working for the organization, in terms of customer, in terms of society, in terms of business results. Our customers should be very happy with the product. Our customers, we should be able to retain our customers. How are the customers looking at the organization? Our employees should be motivated. They should be well rewarded. They should be happy with the work culture. We should be contributing to the betterment of the society, guys. And then yes, we should also see, guys, what is the impact on the profitability. मतलब ये results है, see how have you performed in all of these areas. So हाँ, तो समझ जाना बेटा. अभी तक ये बोला EFQM मॉडल में there are 8 core principles, there are 5 there are criteria के नीचे 5 enablers, guys, and 4 results. The next aspect, beta, here is The next aspect beta here is the evaluation tool under AFQM, the radar methodology. Radar methodology is pretty simple guys. It says first define what are the results required. What is that you want to achieve? ये जो results है बेटा in terms of people results, in terms of customer results, in terms of society results, in terms of business results. What is that you need? First define them. That comes under the first part. Then beta is plan and develop approaches to ensure that you're able to achieve those results. Plan and develop approaches. क्या करना चाहिए? What is that you should do? Aim chase से you will be able to achieve those results guys. And then beta is the next third aspect beta is deploy, implement those approaches guys. Next beta is assess and refine. Check the effectiveness and see if there are any changes required in the approaches for achieving those results. This is the evaluation tool beta. You have of course the results required, approaches, and then guys deploy the approaches, assess and refine. I hope you're all clear about the business excellence model beta. So far we have discussed only about quality management, which covers cost of quality, TQM, total quality management guys, and then the business excellence models. Now guys, coming to the next aspect, very clear guys. याद रखना बेटा, cost of quality is important for practical question also guys. Even under this, from theory of constraints, you can expect a combination of a practical concept with your advice, with your suggestion on it. So next beta what we are doing is theory of constraints. Now theory of constraints is pretty simple guys. TOC beta states that the resources of an organization can be segregated into something that is putting a limitation on the entire production of the company, something that is abundantly available, something that is not putting a limitation on the total production. The resource that puts a limitation on the total resource production guys is called as a bottleneck resource. For example, say guys, I am a pen manufacturer. I have the capacity to manufacture only 3,000 caps, but then I can manufacture 10,000 bodies. What is the bloody point of manufacturing 10,000 bodies when you know that you will not be able to manufacture more than 3,000 caps? If the number of caps are restricted to 3,000, the total number of pens also will be restricted to 3,000. So automatically guys, your entire production will be restricted to 3,000. So here cap manufacturing is your bottleneck resource. Cap manufacturing is your bottleneck resource guys. Also guys, theory of constraints is usually applied for a very short period. Here the concept of variable expenditure is slightly different. This theory of constraint beta assumes that only material and power is your variable expenditure unless otherwise given. Even labor will be a fixed cost in a very short period. There are three operational measures under theory of constraints guys. We have throughput contribution, we have operating expenses, we have investment. Throughput contribution has sales minus direct material and power. It is obviously sales minus variable cost, but variable cost is only direct material and power cost. Then guys, you have operating expenses. Operating expenses are all other expenses other than direct material and power cost. Investment beta is the amount of investment blocked. The objective of theory of constraints beta is to increase throughput contribution, that is the inflow, reduce the operating expenses and minimize the amount of investment blocked in the company. This is the objective. To identify bottleneck resource as such guys, we compute something called as throughput accounting ratio. Throughput accounting ratio guys is resource availability divided by resource requirement beta divided by resource availability. Say I need 10,000 hours of a resource, but availability is only 5,000 hours. I will write 10,000 divided by 5,000 guys, and that will become 200%. The resource with the highest TA ratio will be classified as your bottleneck resource. Of course, you can also compute TA ratios for product guys, which will be what is the return that you're generating per minute of bottleneck resource divided by what is the cost that the organization is incurring. The two ways guys. Anyways, समझो बेटा, TA ratio for a resource beta is what is the requirement of a resource divided by availability of the resource. Requirement of a resource divided by availability of a resource beta would become TA ratio for a particular resource. So you will have to identify your bottleneck resource and make appropriate allocations based on that bottleneck resource. वही throughput contribution per limiting factor beta and allocate the resources. ठीक है? So having understood what is theory of constraints and what are the three operational measures, throughput contribution, operating expenses and investment, we have a 5-step method beta for improving performance of an organization. This can come as a theory part if they ask a question. A 5-step method for improving performance. It says beta first identify constraint. Identify कौन सा resource है जो तुम्हारे limitation तो तुम्हारा total production limit कर रहा है. What is the resource that is putting a limitation on the entire production? Once you identify the constraint, ensure that that constraint is fully utilized. Once you identify the constraint, beta, ensure that that resource is fully utilized as such, guys. You exploit that resource. I know, beta, that cap manufacturing is putting a restriction. What if I do not utilize cap manufacturing properly? Obviously my entire production will go for a toss, guys. My entire production will reduce. So that is why it says, but I exploit the constraints. Ensure that every other resource is subordinated to this bottleneck resource. Now I will manufacture number of bodies, number of refills as per number of caps. Because number of caps is putting a restriction as such, guys, every other resource should be subordinated to this resource. And then beta, it says, try to improve the performance of cap manufacturing. See if you can manufacture more than 3000 caps. Can you increase the capacity? In that process, if some other resource becomes a bottleneck resource, repeat the process. This is the 5-step methodology, beta, for increasing the performance of an organization. I have discussed this in detail, beta, in the regular class also, along with a lot of examples on every aspect. Okay. Now, guys, coming down to the advantages and disadvantages, guys, of throughput theory of constraints, guys. The advantage is simple, guys. This would result in reduction of inventory. Because it is dealing with limiting factor, guys, there will not be any unnecessary investment blocked as such, guys. Your inventory will reduce. You are also improving the efficiency of your machinery. There will be shorter lead times. There is flexibility in operations, better customer service. Disadvantage here, beta, that we are not concentrating on quality of the product. It is applicable for a very short period. There is no long-term planning being considered here. Long-term planning is not being considered, and this is a push approach. We manufacture inventory and then try to sell that in the market. We are manufacturing inventory and then we're trying to sell that in the market, guys. So conclusion, itna yaad rakhna, beta, that theory of constraints is most appropriate for short-term product mix decisions. I hope you're clear about theory of constraints or throughput accounting, guys. So far, beta, in this chapter, we have discussed about quality management. Under that, beta, we have spoken about cost of quality, optimal COQ as such, guys. And then we have spoken about total quality management, the 6 C's of TQM, guys. And why is that TQM implementation fails? What should you do to ensure that TQM is properly implemented? And then we have spoken about business excellence models, guys. Under that, the European Foundation, guys, for quality management, EFQM. उसके नीचे बेटा the 8 criteria, the 8 concepts as such, guys, core values, and criteria के नीचे 5 enablers and 4 results, and the radar framework. And now, guys, under this theory of constraints, guys, we have spoken about how to improve the performance of an organization and what is theory of constraints. Okay. Once we are done with this, beta, we will come to the next aspect, which is supply chain management. The next concept, beta, that is to be discussed here is supply chain management. Now, what exactly is supply chain management? Supply chain management, guys, is integration of all key business processes right from the originator, matlab right from your raw material supplier, guys, to the end delivery of the product to the consumer. Matlab you purchase, you place order. Supply chain matlab kya, guys? You place orders from your suppliers, you manufacture the product, you will send the product to the warehouse, then you will sell it to the consumer as such, guys. All of this, beta, all of these activities put together, beta, would become your supply chain. All integration of key business processes. Supply chain management is very, very important as such, guys. Very, very important. Considering Apple ka supply chain, beta, is given as a classic example as a part of your ICI study material also. But that is why we say, beta, all activities associated with the flow and transformation of goods right from the procurement of raw material, guys, to the end user is supply chain management. The relationship with your suppliers, the relationship with your customers, how are the goods being manufactured, how are you fulfilling the orders, how are you handling returns from the suppliers, how are you launching new products in the market. All of that, beta, would become your supply chain management. Okay. There are 2 types of supply chain, guys. There are 2 types of supply chain. One is push model, the other one is pull model. I will come to the 8 key processes also. Push model and pull model. Push model, guys, of supply chain states. Push model, beta, of supply. I guess the mic is functioning properly. There is no problem. Yeah. The push model of supply chain, beta, states that we will manufacture, we will anticipate demand, we will manufacture and try to sell the inventory in the market. Pull model says, depending on the actual consumer demand, we will manufacture and place orders with the suppliers. Push model, beta, is you manufacturing first and then trying to sell that inventory in the market. Pull model, beta, is you are estimating the requirement of the pull model, beta, is based on actual customer demand. It functions backward as such, guys. It is pulling. That is what we follow under just in time, guys. Okay? That is push model and pull model. Now there are 8 key processes, guys, under supply chain management. The most important are the first 2, guys: customer relationship management, supplier relationship management. Of course, the others are also equally important, but then what you normally would see beta as a part of supply chain management. It is not that beta we are doing masters in supply chain management. ठीक है, I have a friend beta who has done a masters in supply chain management. Yes, her entire career is only in supply chain management. So वो अलग बात है बेटा. अब ये देखो गाइस, कस्टमर रिलेशनशिप मैनेजमेंट अगर मैं बोलता हूँ बेटा, स्पेशलाइजेशन करी बेटा वो, हाँ, कस्टमर रिलेशनशिप मैनेजमेंट. इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बेटा टू हैव प्रॉपर रिलेशन विद द कस्टमर टू improve the value that you will be receiving from the customer, to ensure that the customer is fully satisfied. Now, like when you are holding a good value bank account as such beta, you will have a dedicated person who will attend to all your queries, who will attend to all your requirements as such guys. There's a dedicated customer relationship manager. That customer relationship manager is not only responsible to ensure that the customer is happy, that customer relationship management will also be responsible to increase the revenues, stream of revenues better from the existing customers. Just say how your audit firms of business development teams as such guys, they will try to identify areas where your existing clients need more services. ठीक है, वैसे ही कस्टमर रिलेशनशिप मैनेजमेंट विल ट्राई टू सेल मोर प्रोडक्ट्स टू द एक्सिस्टिंग कस्टमर्स गाइस. जैसे वन टाइम मेरा बैंकर मेरे पास आएगा और मेरे को बोलेगा ये देखो सर क्या जबरदस्त प्रोडक्ट आया सो है, इसको सब्सक्राइब कर लो सर आप, जबरदस्त रहेगा, सब्सक्राइब टू दिस पॉलिसी, टेक अप दिस म्यूचुअल फंड, पुट मनी इन दिस डिपॉजिट अकाउंट, all of this better, they're trying to increase the revenue. That is customer relationship management. Supplier relationship management is also important guys. Supplier relationship management is more about how can you use information technology guys, and also guys how what kind of supplier strategies can be implemented. Supplier strategy, I will be discussing customer relationship management and supplier relationship management in detail beta below this. उसके अलावा आता है बेटा customer service management. This is the general point of contact when you walk into an organization as such beta, you see that there are few people involved in rendering service to the meeting the customers and answering their queries. Also, customer relationship management might not perform all the tasks as such guys. If you have a customer relationship manager also, he will listen to your queries, he will pass on that information to another department who will undertake all the tasks. That will be a part of customer service management. Demand management beta, it is about optimizing the requirements of the customers. Order fulfillment beta is about designing your logistics, ensuring that the demands received from the customers beta are properly fulfilled. Manufacturing flow management is about your production process, your inputs are properly converted into outputs. Product development and commercialization guys is about how a new product will be developed, how quickly can a new product be developed and introduced in the market. Returns management beta is when a consumer returns a product. Now guys, there are two types of supply chains as such guys. You have upstream supply chain and downstream supply chain. Upstream supply chain beta talks about the relationship guys with the suppliers. Downstream supply chain beta is basically talking about the relationships with the customers. I repeat, upstream beta is the relationship with your customers as suppliers as such beta. Downstream is with your customers. Now upstream supplier chain management में बेटा दो important aspect है. एक तो आता है रिलेशनशिप विद सप्लायर एंड दूसरा आता है हाउ कैन यू यूज इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट अपस्ट्रीम सप्लाई चेन. when you talk about relationship with supplier as such guys, it is basically about supplier strategy. Do you need one supplier or do you need more than one supplier for a particular raw material? How important is the cost element? Will a particular supplier be able to provide the component at the cheapest cost? What is the quality of components delivered by different suppliers? At what speed will they be able to deliver the product? How quickly will they be able to deliver the product? Are you going to procure the raw material locally? Are you going to procure raw material from international sources? All of this beta would come under supplier strategy. Make or buy decision. Do you want to internally manufacture a component or do you want to outsource it? कुछ भी आ सकता है बेटा. All of this will form part of your supplier strategy guys. All of this would form part of your supplier strategy. ठीक है बेटा. And as far as using information technology is concerned guys, using information technology, we know better that we can use technology to invite tenders like how the government of India better invites tenders now electronically. E-commerce notifications are put on their websites and everything as such guys. People will have to submit their tenders. That is e-sourcing better. E-sourcing का मतलब होता है that you are asking for tenders online. E-purchasing beta is where you are placing orders online. E-purchasing is where the orders, this is what we do guys. When you place an order on Amazon, isn't that e-purchasing? And also guys, the payments for that guys are made electronically. The payments for that beta are made electronically. Yes or no? Supplier management has changed drastically. ऐसा बेटा ऐसा नहीं है कि पहले के जैसे used to visit the supplier's premises or call them continuously and say you have to deliver this product. competitive environment for everyone, guys, not just for you, even for your suppliers. So far, guys, under supply chain management, we have understood what is supply chain management, what are the 8 key processes, guys, and what is upstream supply chain, downstream supply chain, what is the push model and pull model. I have just covered upstream supply chain. Okay, next beta comes about downstream supply chain. This is the relationship with your customer as such beta. Yahan se again a practical question can come on customer's lifetime value. When you talk about downstream supply chain as such beta, इसके नीचे आता है relationship marketing. Relationship marketing is about 6 markets model. Internal markets is within your organization among the employees of a company. Within the organization among the employees of a company. Referral markets beta is, say I am a practicing chartered accountant, I have a tie-up with the company secretary or a lawyer. Whenever someone tries to avail their service, she will refer it to me if they need any CA services. That's a referral market as such beta. Or say guys, these days you see referral, GPay mein beta refer a friend and you will get 31 rupees, you will get 51 rupees. Referral market, guys. Influence market, internal market kya beta, within the organization, like how Dell promotes their products beta, that and if an employee is purchasing the product, they will give a 30% discount, 20% discount. Apple to beta free mein deta hai. Apple, the minute you join Apple as such, guys, they will give you an iPad, they will give you a MacBook, and they will give you an iPhone free, guys. That is the first welcome gift that they give you. I have spoken to so many friends beta who work in Apple. This is what happens there. Then beta influence markets हो गया. Then guys recruitment markets. ठीक है. Influence market क्या है? Influence market beta is basically someone, guys, who has a grip or who has a lot of followers as such, guys. You know beta social marketing is all about that. Influence markets, someone who has a lot of following as such, guys. So you are using, say guys, if your product is being promoted by, say guys, Prabhas, you tell Prabhas, "Arey yaar, you are very close friend of mine. Why don't you just tell the people that this product is doing good?" That's an influence market, guys. Recruitment markets, guys, is you should be able to hire the best people, guys. For that, you should have a very good relation with the universities from which you are hiring people, or the the employment agencies. Supplier markets is your suppliers, suppliers of raw material. Customer markets beta is the end consumer to whom you will be selling the product. Anyways, these are 6 markets model, guys. Customer relationship management is very important to me beta here. Customer relationship management का मतलब, guys, again as I told you, the objective is to ensure better that you are able to retain customers, you're able to acquire new customers, you're able to improve the profitability from existing customers, you're able to decide which customers should you be concentrating on, which customers can be dropped, how can you neglect few customer groups. All of that beta is under customer relationship management. The very first one beta here is analysis of customers and their behavior. What are the spending patterns of consumers as such, guys? Will a consumer be willing to spend a higher amount? What is the aspects that a consumer is looking at? That is analysis of consumers and their behavior. Second one beta is customer account profitability. Very important that every organization does. Every organization, especially service industry beta, हर कोई करता है बेटा ये. Customer account profitability beta is trying to segregate your customers, guys, into different categories as such, guys, and then trying to evaluate the attractiveness of each category as such beta. It's like how a bank divides their customers beta into gold, platinum level, gold and जो भी beta silver level, ये सब beta. ठीक है. So when you reach a particular level as such beta, the kind of services that you get would obviously differ as such beta, because you are contributing a lot to the profitability of that company. That is customer account profitability, guys. Plays a very important role in identifying where should you be putting in your efforts. Customer lifetime value, guys, is what is the amount of benefit that you are going to receive from a particular customer, guys. Customer lifetime value. It would differ better. जैसे if I talk about say guys a particular product, जैसे if I am talking about buying an Apple phone, Apple company is not merely looking at revenue from the sale of cell phone. He will want to see, to ensure that this existing customer is retained, he will keep replacing a cell phone Apple phone beta with Apple phone only. Later try to persuade him to shift from a Microsoft laptop to an Apple laptop, and whatever purchases is making on App Store, guys. So the revenue that you will be making, the profit that you will be making from a customer over the entire lifetime of relationship with that customer is customer lifetime value. Last one beta is customer selection, acquisition, retention and extension. When I talk about this, guys, we are basically referring to identifying the target customer groups. Who are you trying to target? How are you how will you be approaching those customers as such, guys? How will you be retaining those customers, and how will you be expanding your customers base and get into other things? All of this beta comes under CRM, customer relationship management. And then, guys, use of information technology. You can let your consumers place orders online as such, guys. You can let your consumers pay for those purchases online, and there's nothing like improving the brand of the company as such, guys. Improving the brand of the organization would obviously help you in achieving more and more consumers. So this is about supply chain management, guys. There are a lot of case studies also, guys, on this discussed in the material. So when you say supply chain management as such, beta, we are talking about, when you say supply chain management as such, guys, here understand we spoke about what is supply chain management, what are the 8 key processes of supply chain management as such, guys, and then what is pull model, push model, what is customer relationship management, and what is basically beta your downstream and upstream. Downstream is with the customer, beta. Upstream is with the supplier. Supplier ke niche, beta, we spoke about supplier strategy as such, guys. Relationship with supplier, and then how can we use information technology under customer, beta, that is downstream supply chain. We spoke about the relationship marketing as such, guys, and then, beta, we spoke about that is 6 markets model, guys. And then we spoke about customer relationship management, very important, analysis of consumers and their behaviors, customer account profitability, customer lifetime value, customer selection, analysis, retention, and extension. Finally, beta, we've spoken about how can we use information technology, guys, and the branding of the organization. This is about supply chain management. So far, guys, you've spoken about quality management, under that COQ, TQM, guys, and business excellence models. And after that, beta, we have moved on to theory of constraints or throughput accounting, and now we have done supply chain management. Now finally, beta, coming to the end of this chapter, we have 2 very small concepts: gain sharing arrangements and outsourcing. What exactly is gain sharing arrangement, beta? Gain sharing arrangement, guys, service level agreements वो सब अलग है, beta. Gain sharing arrangement is basically a contract with your supplier as such, guys, wherein supplier is not going to charge a fixed price. The revenue that he will be getting from the supply of a component would depend upon the benefit that you will receive out of the component, or the amount of revenue that you will be generating out of the component. Now through this, beta, the supplier can either make a huge amount of money as such, guys, or the supplier can eventually lose the entire amount. It is like the supplier is becoming the supplier's profitability would in turn depend upon the profitability of your organization. Okay? This can be implemented by startups beta with the products you know may or may not survive. वहाँ पे gain sharing arrangements can be implemented. Gain sharing arrangements has done wonders, beta, in many organizations. Has done wonders in many organizations. Finally, beta, outsourcing is basically deciding whether you want to manufacture a product or whether you want to outsource that product as such, guys. That is a make or buy decision. The advantage of outsourcing, beta, is that it would require lesser investment. It might result in cost savings. If the product is something that is subject to technological changes, you will be protected. You will not have to worry about the investment made. On the same side, beta, disadvantage is that you might have to share all your secrets. They can be, you will have to share your technology, share your secrets as such, guys, and there can be quality issues, or whether the product will be delivered on time or not. Those issues, beta, can crop up. Okay, guys, that's it, beta. This is about the revision of chapter 2, guys, which is modern business environment. I will be coming up with videos about the revisions of other topics also. Do not forget as such, guys, that the notes that I'm using here, guys, are all available for download. It's just available. The link has been specified as the description, beta, of this video. That's it, guys. Keep studying well as such, guys. Remember, the motivation for studying should come from within, guys. If you listen to motivations, that motivation might stay better. If you listen to few people talking better, that motivation might just stay for a day, guys, or 2. Unless and until you yourself are motivated better that you will have to perform really well, things are not going to change. So, guys, remember, put in hard work as such, guys. Just get done with the examination, study properly as such, better have a proper strategy, and score really good marks. All the best, guys. I'll see you guys in the next session.